Sixers pre- and post-game analyst, one of Temple's finest, Marc Jackson. He joins us now on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN. Welcome back, Mark. What's happening, pal?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
Everything's good as we get down the stretch run here. We're going to do it without Joel Embiid. It's been kind of a messy situation the way they've handled it the last week or so, but are you okay with the fact that they decided now, you know what, no more playing around, done for the year?
Am I okay with it? I'm disappointed. If I could have to pick a word, I would say I'm disappointed. Because Embiid kind of brought some fire back into the city, the Philadelphia fans, and now to hear that he's out with a meniscal tear, it just kind of brings more questions to not just Joel Embiid this season, but as far as the longevity of the Philadelphia 76ers career.
Yeah, is that an issue for you that so much of the success of this franchise moving forward is tied to a guy that has not played, he missed 2 full seasons, played only 31 games this year, and then another guy who missed an entire season? Is that concerning if you're a Sixers fan that the 2 guys who mean the most to this team have played the least?
Yes, it is. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because, we pretty much are putting, and which we deservedly so, are putting all our eggs in one basket. But when you have such talent as the 2 gentlemen, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, but either one of them able to play, it's just kind of, like I said, it brings more questions. First word is disappointment. Second word is more questions. Because the NBA is not a sprint; it is a marathon. It's a lot of games have to be played. You have a guy who missed 2 seasons and also has been played this year under minutes restrictions and not playing back-to-backs, and he finds a way to get hurt, to pretty much get shut down for the year. It just brings more questions than anything.
You could comment on this too, because you're about 6'10", 6'11". That's what you played in the NBA. How hard is it to anticipate a guy 7'2", in the case of Joel Embiid, running up and down the court 82 times a year? I mean, you being that big, and he's bigger than you are. Do you understand that maybe that's not a reality?
I mean, you know what? It's a shame, but if you look back at guys that size, such as Rick Smits, who was 7'4", he had a long career. You look at other people back there. The big kid, Hibbert, Roy Hibbert. He's about the same size. I mean, your question is, are those days gone with a 7'2", 280-pound centers? Are becoming non-distinct. And then if that's the price you have to pay if you want those big guys, you got to take injuries into account. But I will go back to the issue where there's happened plenty of guys who played long careers in the NBA, similar size to Joel Embiid, maybe not as versatile as Joel Embiid, but similar, and them having long careers. So the 76ers, they got to do the right thing, which is put all the eggs in the basket of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. But you always have to keep in the back of your mind, will they be healthy enough to complete an NBA full season?
Yeah, that seems like that Joel, most of the 2, that Joel not going to be counted on for 82 games. I mean, it just seems like he is not going to be a guy who can get through a full season, regardless even if he's healthy, right? I mean, he's in a situation that even if he's got 100% health, that hoping that he can get through an all 82 game season for the next 10 years just doesn't seem like it's feasible.
I agree. And even, you go into the season and say, well, you never know. But to be honest, the way the Sixers handled them this year, they've been extra gentle with him, making sure to try to prevent a reoccurrence in his foot from happening. But then with that being said, then he hurts his knee. So then you come in the next season, and he's fully healed, participating in all-season workouts. But then you got to ask yourself, do I want to put him back on minutes restrictions? Do I want to not play him back-to-backs again, hoping to preserve this talent in Joel Embiid? And as 76ers fans in the city, we would not like that one bit whatsoever. And, we would not. We would probably raise a big fuss. But to be honest, the 76ers might have to end up doing that. They might have to end up doing that.
Yeah, and Marc Jackson is with us, former Sixers pre- and post-game live. You mentioned the foot. The good part is there has been no setbacks with that foot, so that is a positive. The second part about the knee is it didn't seem it was just some fluke thing that he ran down the court and did it because he's big and awkward. It was an awkward fall. That's the kind of thing that you just saw Kevin Durant, similar injury that just happens throughout the course of a night. So I guess that makes you feel a little bit better that this guy isn't just falling apart just by walking.
I agree. He plays the term I've been hearing used a lot. He plays with reckless abandonment, because he just has such an incredibly high motor. I would strongly have to consider him top 5 in the league of best two-way players in the NBA, when he's healthy, because his prowess on defense is just as strong and just as motor effective as his offensive prowess. So, he's going to play with that motor, but with his body, with his injury history, I think you have to go in with a sign of caution. Like, look, man, we love this kid. We love his energy. But if we want to see this kid start the season and end the season, we got to cut out some games, keep his minutes down, and things like that. But that's all you can do. He can go into the offseason 100% healthy. How much work you going to have him do in the offseason, because he might get hurt in the offseason. So you're really going to kind of be cautious with that. And then as much as you being cautious with him, it just keeps bringing more questions. And then as an organization, you got to ask yourself, how do we solidify our bench, our front court, not knowing if he's going to be 100% healthy for the year?
Yeah, and I guess the follow-up to that on Embiid, and before we get to some other things, is at what point does the organization just have to take the bubble wrap off and say, look, it's time to start winning, and we got to play you like a normal basketball player. And if you end up getting hurt in that time frame, so be it. But at some point, don't they have to just play him without restrictions and without the thought of he may get hurt?
I agree. That's the only way to see what you have. That's the only way to see, can he fully be healthy? Can he complete a season? Can he be the face of this franchise? You have to see what he has. But to be honest, I don't see the 76ers doing that, because now in today's game, they would prefer to preserve talent than to see what the talent can truly hold up for. So instead of saying, okay, we're going to season, no minutes restrictions, no missing game, play back-to-back, instead of doing that, like, well, no, let's be cautious. Let's not play back-to-back. Let's keep his minutes down to 28 minutes a game. Today's NBA, I can see that happening. And to be honest, I think Joel Embiid wouldn't like it, but I can see the 76ers attempting to do it.
Marc Jackson with us here in the Sports Bash. And just to wrap up the Joel Embiid talk with some numbers, 7 games he missed during his one season at Kansas with back and knee injuries. Missed the first 2 NBA seasons due to 2 separate foot surgeries. He'll miss the last 37 games of this season due to the knee injury, and he played a grand total of 31 games in his first 3 NBA seasons. Those are the numbers on Joel Embiid. The numbers, Mark, and I have to ask you about Jahlil Okafor. My goodness, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in 22 minutes that did not light the world on fire for Coach Lynham and probably Coach Chaney. Coach Chaney would kick you out of the gym. He'd say, Mark, you got to play some defense if you played like that. What was your impression of Jahlil's defensive effort last night?
Oh, let me say, first of all, your imitation of Coach Chaney was outstanding. Secondly,
thank you.
Secondly, man, when like I've told you, if you go back and rewind the tape, I told you last week, once Jahlil Okafor did not get traded, I told you he would have a better end of the season. And last night's performance, lack of defensive hustle was very disturbing to me. Because like at one point it got to the point where I was like, does he care? Does he even care that he's not giving us all he can on the defensive end? So as far as offensively, I think he's going to be up and down, but I really think he's going to end this season on a high note. I think his numbers will be better than they were in the beginning of the season. But that defensive intensity, lack of defensive intensity, really disturbing to me, because he can show all the prowess he wants on the offense, ability to score the ball. But, I mean, I compare him to 2 people. I compare him to Al Jefferson, and I compare him to a Brook Lopez. More so Brook than Al. But I believe both of them had a higher defensive motor than him. Yep. I think enough's enough, and I think Coach needs to sit him down and, look, son, you got to give us something. You got to give us something defensive. We need to challenge you. You're not now, Joel. I hate to say this, now Joel Embiid's not playing for the year. I hate to say that's the reason why you can play more, but you're guaranteed to play a lot of minutes. You got to give us more of an effort on the defensive end to give us a chance to win some games. And not just that, to get your reputation back. Because right now, your reputation is not looking good. You know, and as a young man who's always been a winner in high school, state championship, college, national championship, it's about time that you get that resume filled and showing you can give effort on both ends of the floor. But right now, it's not looking good on the defensive end. But I think he will finish the season stronger than he has started in the first 3 quarters of the season. I think he will finish stronger. But just watching him against Miami Heat was it was almost unwatchable. It really was.
Embarrassing, I guess, would be a word, too. I'll slip in another Coach Cheneyism. Winning is an attitude. So when I saw that last night, and, of course, it went viral on Twitter, everybody saw. I mean, there was a basket early in the game where he was standing upright. He almost looked like, he wasn't in a defensive position. Just come on in, score at will. I'm not going to get in your way. Ole, like a bullfighter getting out of the way. And my question to you then is, do you put any stock in the fact that he looks at the situation like, oh, y'all didn't want me, now you want me, well, I'll give you some effort. I'll put the ball in the net if I can on the one end, but you think I'm going to get hurt for you? You think I'm going to take a charge for you? You think I'm going to do any of that? Do you put any stock in his attitude mentally, like having like sort of revenge or payback, or I don't know what the right description of, but I think you know where I'm going.
You know what? In the back of my mind, those are some great points, some valid points, and I can see some people being petty and doing that. But I really, truly believe that as he's come from a good background. His father's raised him, and he's a great kid. I can't see that happening. You still have to be professional. No matter if you win or you lose, no matter if you play 40 minutes or no minutes, your paycheck's the same. So I think he has to look at the big picture here. And the big picture is his professional careers in line here, because now a lot of people have come to bat for him. I was one included, saying he didn't get a fair break the way the 76ers was playing him off and on, and you can't credit the way he's played the game with the way the Sixers have treated him. So yes, I've been going to bat for him because I still think he's a great talent. But one thing you cannot say is you have to be a professional. So you cannot say you got to hope that he's not coming in with a petty mindset like that. And he is, a very good kid. Let's say that he is a very good kid. I can't see him being petty like that because he is a competitor. He does compete. And if you talk to some people who've been in practice in the beginning of the season, during training camp, and get ready for season, he was giving Joel the business. Joel was giving him some too, but in practice he was holding his own. So I'm quite sure he knows he's a good player. And I'm quite sure he's going to come in and night at night. Might not give it to you defensively every night because that's not his MO, but I'm quite sure he can give it to you.
We talked a lot about Joel Embiid so far on the show. Do you think 31 games is enough to win the Rookie of the Year award, or would you give that award to Dario?
I'll give it to Dario. There's no way 31 games is enough. Is he the best rookie talent this season? Yes, I think he's proven that. But no way, in my opinion, that he is he can be given Rookie of the Year after 31 games. I forgot how many games I played as a rookie, but I was leading the race, same thing like Joel Embiid, and then I got hurt in my season, and then I didn't get it. They ended up getting the NBA gave it to Mike Miller, but then the Volek Award gave it to me. So, I've been in that situation. I don't think 31 games is enough. Not one bit. Has he proven himself in 31 games to be the best rookie talent this season? Yes, by far. But in order to get that award, you can't do that. I've listened to people say, you got to give it to him. He was the best rookie. Yeah, he might have been the best rookie in a small clip of games, 31. But if you got Dario Saric who's in there every night going at it, you can't compare the two.
Saric named the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for February today, too, by the way. So you played the game. We're talking to Marc Jackson here on the Sports Bash. Last night, Saric turns the ball over. T.J. McConnell is forced to foul a guy at half court. Walks over to him and sort of gets in a little bit of a chirping match back and forth. And I know that they have like a love-hate relationship. They say they're brothers, they say they're close, but they fight like brothers too. And sometimes you see that on the court, and that happened last night. Did you see that play that I'm talking about, and were you able to?
Yes.
Yes. What do you think? Because it looked to me like T.J. McConnell, like Dario said something like, you can't say that to me. And T.J. McConnell said, yes, I can.
Yeah. See, okay, so T.J. is Coach's guy. That's Coach's guy. That's Coach loves him. Coach loves him. That's how we say it. Coach loves him. But
teacher's pet.
He's Coach's guy. Coach loves him. Coach has openly said he's my guy. He knows what I want to do. That's fine and dandy. I still think Sergio is a incredible talent. that doesn't get enough playing time. As you can tell, when he played consistently, he was putting in work. But I will tell you this: TJ is feeling himself right now. He when he was put into the start lineup, 76 playing a little better. They start winning some games. So he's telling himself, I've earned the right to come at my teammates. But also remember, it's a way of doing things that you got to always keep in mind, because nobody wants to be disrespected. No one. And TJ went to Duquesne, transferred to Arizona, but he does not at all, one bit, has the resume that Dario Saric has. Dario Saric has been putting in work in the European League when TJ was still in college, and putting in work consistently every year. So he's been through some battles. He's been through some wars in Europe and playing professional basketball. Because when TJ comes at him, Dario's a tough guy. He's not no soft guy. So he came at Dario, and Dario like, ho. Listen, point guard. You can't say that to me, because I'll put it on the line every day. Every game I'm bringing it. So he felt disrespected. And he's, of course, going to come at him because he's a professional. And like I said, he's a professional in Europe at a higher level before TJ even got to the NBA. So let's establish that. So that love-hate relationship can get old if TJ don't watch how he comes off. You know your teammate don't like the way you come off at him aggressive like that. You got to find other ways to get through to him.
Interesting.
A case in point was Aaron McKee. Blue was the best at knowing how to come at a guy. When he would come at me, or he would come at Garrett Coleman, he would come at a certain way. When he would go at Allen Iverson, he just going to rip Allen Iverson's guts out. Man, that was horrible. That was hard. He would just let him have it. And I was like, "You're right, Blue. You're right." You know what I mean? So Aaron McKee was the best at that. So you got to learn how to speak to different people in different ways. Everybody don't accept criticism the same way. So you have to recognize how people accept things, especially as a point guard, especially as supposedly leader. You got to learn how to come at certain players a certain way so they can respond. Because you definitely don't want to get a guy saying he does not like you because he feels as though you're disrespecting him, and who are you to come at me that way? And that can get to the point with Dario and TJ. So TJ got to be real careful.
Marc Jackson's with us, by the way. His rookie year, 48 games, 13 points, 7.5 rebounds. So numbers comparable to kind of where Dario is. He's a little less than where you are. I'm interested, though, how long did it take you to get comfortable as a rookie, like where you felt like you could speak up or that you could do some more things? Like, I feel like Dario was maybe the quiet kid, and now he's opening up a little bit more, and his personality is coming out, and it's transferring to success on the floor. That he seemed like the timid kid, and now he seems much more confident and comfortable in his NBA surroundings. Is that something that happens when you're a rookie, that maybe you don't let it go until a certain point of the year?
Well, Dario's been coached by some fabulous European coaches. So when he first came over, he was a little uncomfortable because the game was too fast for him. He was trying to figure out things. But now that he has it, he's playing free. He's playing free. Dario, and I followed Dario for the last 6 years, since he was all the way back to Savona as a young kid. He is a very quiet person, very cerebral person, but he studies the game and he plays hard. But he has made such a transformation in his game in the last 4 months compared to the last 6 years of playing in Europe. Dario is a totally different player than he was here. What I mean by that, he's more perimeter-oriented. He's beating guys off the dribble. He's beating NBA talent off the dribble. He would never do all that. He never did any of that in Europe. He was more of a pick-and-pop guy and a rebounder and a post guy, banging guys, gritty guys, a very floor general, good passer. But to see what he's doing now, he is comfortable. Now, he's not just comfortable. He's comfortable in expanding his game. He's gotten better in the last 4 months than he has the last 6 years in Europe. So now he feels he's comfortable. He's going to speak up. He's going to do his thing, and he's being very aggressive. He's always been aggressive.
Yeah.
But he's showing it more and more every game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I know the draft's way off, but right now I want to ask you about – we talked about TJ, Covington. How many of the guys on this current roster do you see as pieces of a team that are a title contender? Like, which guys would be role players on that team that's ready to make that, jump towards respectability and a deep playoff run?
You mean on the 76ers roster?
Yeah, do they have guys that you think they should keep around that as role players that are pieces of a team that will end up winning eventually?
I think they got quite a few pieces. I think Dario is a very modern stretch forward, aka power forward in today's game. So Dario is one. Sergio is a very, very good pick and roll player. He's not getting a lot of time, and he's kind of put out of coach's mindset right now. But Sergio is a pick and roll player. Some good teams, and can actually contribute and put in work. TJ, I don't know. I'm kind of still up in the air to you. TJ developed. He's gotten better. He's playing really well now. He's helping the team win games. But, particular skill set, I think when he can come off the bench, give you some defense, but can he be a big-time player on a title contending team? I don't see that. I just really don't. I don't see that. Rashawn Holmes, I told you when we were speaking about Nerlens Noel, and people say, oh, don't trade Nerlens, and I was the only one, like I told you, my coworker, Marshall Harris, got a big, he said, you can't, I said, listen, man, stop sleeping on Rashawn Holmes. He can give you a lot of what Nerlens can, but even with a more offensive touch and more of a touch from the perimeter. He said, no, that's not. I said, I'm telling you, when they made that trade, I thought he would have a turnaround second half of the season, and I still think Jahlil Okafor will turn around. Robert Covington is he's developed himself into a very good two-way player. Covington is a big-time talent now that can not just help the 76ers, but help any title contending team right now with the way he's playing defense and his ability to not just shoot the three, but hit the three. So I think they have about 5 pieces that can contribute on a title contending team.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, and that's something, I guess, to keep an eye on. If you're wondering what to keep watching the rest of the way, those 5 players to see if they can stick around and give the Sixers some complimentary pieces to their injured stars. He's Marc Jackson, Sixers pre- and post-game live, former Temple Owl, former Sixer, and right here on the Sports Bash on Thursdays, we'll talk Sixers basketball. And when the NBA playoffs come around, we'll get pick his brain on them as well. Mark, we always enjoy it, pal.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on, man. This is fun. Hopefully we get some winning streaks going on before next week to talk about.
I don't know. Do the Sixers fans want to win there, PT? Do they want to pick up wins?
Winning might not mean winning.
Marc Jackson.
We have that debate all the time. Thanks, Mark.